Hey everybody, welcome back to the K2 Online Paddle School. We are back here on YouTube, and this week we're looking at your grip position with the bottom hand on a paddle stroke. So there are two common ideas that you're going to hear that you want to use your bottom hand tight or loose while wielding the bottom hand on a canoe or a kayak paddle. And just like everything that we talk about here on the YouTube channel and on the K2OnlinePaddleSchool.com is we want the middle of these two extreme ideas. Our hand is a connector to the tool to transfer our energy into the paddle. We have talked about the top hand position and maximizing the surface area and using it as a proper lever to push into to maximize the force that you're making with your body. Your bottom hand is an extension of this, right? We are looking to balance the amount of surface area and connection that we have with the tool. The other idea that we're trying to manage is our overall blade angle. The looser your grip is, the more blade angle that you can create, but now your connection with the tool is more limited because you're losing surface area. As we increase the surface area, we are going to lose the blade angle, but we're going to maximize our connection. So which one is better? Well, neither one, right? A better connection with poor leverages yields minimal result, and superior leverages with a poor connection yields similar limited results. So what we're looking to do is we want to maximize as much surface area as we can and get as much positive blade angle out of the stroke as we can. The easiest visual guide that we can look at is when I'm holding my bottom hand with a loose grip here, I can create this positive blade angle. If I squeeze my bottom hand and pull my palm to the shaft and pull my fingers towards my palm, you can see that the paddle is now going to go up and down. To maximize the surface area, we have to have the paddle parallel with our hand. And so when we squeeze, we create this angle. Having a hand position that is tight with an extended arm is going to negate all of your positive blade angle because we're pulling the paddle very specifically. But now holding the paddle like so, you can see that I am compromising my connection with the tool to create superior leverages and more length with the tool, right? So you can see the swivel mechanic here as I go from loose to tight. So with a tight grip, there are ways to get the paddle positive, right? As I'm going through, if I increase the flexibility of my wrist like so, I can keep all of the connection on the tool and keep the positive blade angle. Obviously, as you can see here, this is incredibly uncomfortable. And as this joint is bent, as you put energy into your arm coming from your hips and legs, this is an immediate weak point, right? So running into wrist issues, these muscles are extended upwards, so now you have elbow issues and potentially bottom arm shoulder discomfort from holding the paddle too tightly and bending the wrist too much. Another way paddlers get around this is by keeping this position strong. They bend their bottom elbow to create the positive blade angle. So if my arm is straight and my hand is tight, no positive blade angle. If I don't bend the wrist, now I can bend at the elbow to make an angle like this. So if you see paddlers in a position like so, most of the time their bottom hand is too tight and they are morphing the joints around to try and get positive blade angle either at the wrist or at the elbow here. Now looking at a grip that is too loose. Now I can very easily get positive blade angle, the paddle reaches out much further, but now my ability to push and pull and transfer energy through my hand is much more limited because I'm not in good connection with my tool anymore. You'll see paddlers go through a stroke and they are almost like pinching the sides of their paddle as they're going side to side here, right? So as these fingers extend, the energy that you create with your body just doesn't transfer to the water all the way. So we want a balance of these ideas. And one idea that will help us with this is as we're going through the paddle stroke, our bottom hand, we need pressure on this side of the paddle. Right? We need pressure on the front part of the paddle here. And the amount of surface area that we need on the back part of the paddle is not quite as important. And what I mean by this is as I have my fingers on the front part of the paddle, this is the surface area that we want to try to maximize to the best of our ability to make the connection with the tool. The amount of surface area that the palm is pushing into the back of the paddle is not quite as important. As we're doing that, energy is going in this direction with my palm, but the paddle and its pathing is going to be coming in this direction here. So this is a big distinction within the grip. We don't need it so tight that the palm comes forward into the paddle here. And so looking at this, my thumb and my index finger are going to wrap around the top, and there's going to be space between my palm and this part of the paddle, which will now give me this angle here in a much more comfortable way. If I hold my palm to the paddle and then yank it back, you can see how much more my wrist is turning there, versus if I just relinquish this spacing here, I can maximize the surface area here and get the positive blade angle that I'm looking for. Wrist position, ideal elbow position, and the hand is in a good position to transfer energy into the tool, even with this little bit of spacing here. And the reason I'm making this video to clarify this is I've had a lot of paddlers say, hey, I need this pinky position in a very particular place to engage my lat, which is a very odd coaching cue, because your pinky's position in relation to how you're utilizing your lat muscles are two different things. Using your lats is retracting your shoulder blades and dropping your collarbones, right? Right now I can feel that I'm flexing my lats. My hand position, whether my hand is straight or turned or up, none of this affects what's occurring back here at my torso. So this may be a cue to fix paddlers from holding their paddle like this, right? But now you create paddlers that are holding their paddle like a death grip and hurting their wrist and hurting their elbow, because they think that the pinky's position is the crucial element in our kinetic chain for success, when in reality, it's a very small part of the process. So there are many times when I go through a paddle stroke that my pinky is extended on the top part of the shaft. I'm looking to just put this surface area on the front part of the shaft. And so my ability to wrap it around to the side is negligible, because I just need to cover this area on the front side. If I cover this side here, this is not going to activate or deactivate my lat muscles and my hips and my legs and the rest of my connection with the stroke. This is a very moot point when connecting energy into the tool. This is another time to spotlight, don't get fixated on some of these little weird coaching cues, right? Your pinky position does not dictate your success in using your legs and using your hips and your torso position and your shoulder position and your arm pathing and when you exit and how far you reach and what are your strokes per minute and what's your distance per stroke. This is a very negligible part of that process. When we really fixate on the small detail, we're looking at the tree and we lose sight of the forest, right? There are so many big ideas that we need to accomplish to have a competent paddle stroke. And again, pinky position is not that missing piece of the puzzle. There will be little nuances that we need to adhere to, right? But there are some base ideas, just like with this example. We need pressure on the front part of the paddle, right? All of those marks are being checked, and so the stroke is successful. It is providing boat speed, and there is no hindrance or lack of energy connection throughout the whole body. But when you're using visual assessments, right, you have to be very careful on understanding what you're looking at and the bigger implications. Getting fixated on somebody's pinky as they're taking the stroke means that you're not looking at their legs and their hips and how fast they're going and how they're going through the stroke and all the details that can be much more important. Thank you all so much for checking out the video today. If there are any things that you would like to see, feel free to reach out anytime. This video idea came directly from Instagram. Somebody left a comment kind of pointing out some of these ideas and bringing up this coaching cue again, which leads to this video being made. I really appreciate the feedback from the community to help with these videos and to talk about and spotlight some of these ideas to help clarify some of the fog that goes into your progression. A big shout out to all of our YouTube members, and their names are going to appear here. If you do have issues trying to engage your lats and do exercises off the water to try and feel how to engage these large muscles that help with the stroke in a meaningful way, don't forget to check out the K2NOnlinePaddleSchool.com today. It's 2025. If you have goals, we have different training programs that are available on the K2NOnlinePaddleSchool.com as well. If you want your workouts written for you, if you need constant video reviews to make sure that you're on the right path, if you want video calls and anything that will help keep you motivated, we can structure that for you. If you want to come to Hernando for an extended period of time and do one-on-one lessons or small group lessons, feel free to reach out anytime. We have the equipment here to provide that for you. If you want me to come to you and teach a small group, feel free to reach out anytime. I'm scheduling a lot of different worldwide clinics here in 2025. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you all next week for our next paddle tip video.